the social media company that was accused of stepping all over people in their speech, and that is Twitter. And the fact that Elon Musk has just bought Twitter, saying that he's going to end some of that stepping on people's speech. And, this does bring up a lot of issues for libertarians, because, we talk about free speech. Is it free speech on a private platform, or is there a lot of government distortion going on here? And, so then it becomes more of a government free speech issue. But boy, I tell you, since he bought this, I have not seen this many upset Democrats about an African American since Jim Crow, or as Biden would say, Jim Eagle. But what do you guys think about this story? This is a pretty crazy story. Now we get the new sheriff in town, and is he going to regulate or not? We'll see. What do you guys think about it?
Well, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to get very upset just because of the fact that Elon Musk, who indeed is an African American, is being called an African American because he has white skin. This is going to be a real problem here going forward. Okay.
Well, for those listeners who aren't in on the know, he was born in South Africa. That's kind of a joke.
Yeah, I lived his first 16 or 17 years in South Africa before he moved to Canada. But be that as it may, we have a problem here in this country with the social media platforms, a very big problem. It is not that these people, they are private companies, yes, and sure, private companies can do as they wish on their platforms. I have no problem with that. My problem begins when all of these private companies are taking directions from the government or taking instructions from the government to help people or to hurt people. Because in the 2020 election, we had a very big issue where the Hunter Biden laptop was suppressed by Twitter, for no reason other than the fact it was done to help Joe Biden win the election, which he actually ended up winning. And there are polls which suggest that would not have happened if that laptop was known, and if the contents of that laptop was known and widespreadly distributed around the country. But Elon Musk comes along with, to me, is going to save some of our liberties here. I think so. At least I hope so. Okay? Because Twitter and these other social platforms need to stop this censoring that they're doing. Now, they call it content moderation. That's what they call it. But it is nothing but censoring. Censoring our words, censoring our thoughts, censoring anything that we put out there just to help the left in this country. And that is bad and is wrong. And hopefully this will be a blow to these people who are trying to suppress free speech in the United States of America.
Well, okay, yeah, I'm hoping that Elon will be an instrument of positive change and will stand up for free speech, and I think he will. And I'm hoping that he does. And so, Kalish, do you share our enthusiasm for his purchase here?
Yeah, I mean, I might be switching over to Twitter here pretty soon then, if it ends up being as successful as we think it will be. It's not very popular around my area. It never just really caught on in the Central Valley. But yeah, I think everybody here has been pretty fed up with platforms like Facebook, where we get censored. The only things that ever get censored is something that goes against the left narrative, and so it just shows as a clear bias. And I think that we're kind of done with it. But hopefully Elon pulls through on that one and proves us right that it'll be a more free speech friendly platform.
I sure hope so. Yes, indeed, I sure hope so.
I kind of share that too, that I have a Twitter account, but I've almost never used it. So I'm going to start looking into it a little more now. It's got a little interesting, but it is funny though. I was on Facebook the other day, and I had shared a joke meme that, I thought was a hysterical meme about social democrats. And it was essentially that old, well, it was this old cartoon that essentially it shows socialists in one image, and it shows them about to, put down, you know, a citizen, in one of the many, cleansings they've had in all these different, terrible, like places like, China and Russia and all this other stuff. And then in the next image, it shows the exact same picture, but they show party hats and, little smiling emojis that says social or democratic socialism. But they literally, they threw a strike at me or whatever they call it. I mean, they gave me a warning and they pulled it down, and that was on Facebook. And so I was just kind of shocked, because I've seen that thing float around the internet quite a bit. So it just amazes me the kind of things that trigger, on these, if you offend their sensibilities.
You see, this is just the point, Jason, because, and well, to Kalisha and Tim also, this is just the point. We have a very good definition provided by the Supreme Court of what is protected speech and what is not protected speech. Okay, and to me, anything that is not a violation as defined by the Supreme Court should be allowed on the platforms. Like, you can't go on the platform and incite violence, or you can't go on the platform and say you're going to assassinate this one or you're going to kill that one. Okay, those things are not protected speech. Okay, you can't shout fire in a crowded theater. Whatever the equivalent of that on the platform is not protected. But everything else should be permitted. And I don't know why these left-wing groups who so love to talk, they want to save us and protect us, they so love to limit speech. They always want to limit speech. They always want to suppress speech if it offends them. Oh my goodness, I'm offended. So what if you're offended? We are all offended all the time. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, always and forever.